Hi, I'm Molly Dwyer, Head of Insights at PeakMetrics. Today, we'll leverage PeakMetrics narrative intelligence to explore the impact of HBO's Brandy Hellville documentary on the fast fashion industry. For context, HBO released the documentary Brandy Hellville and the Cult of Fast Fashion on April 9, 2024. Documentaries spotlighting brands like this are nothing new. For example, back in 2021, Netflix released White Hot, the rise and fall of Abercrombie and Fitch. Brands increasingly need to understand the reputational fallout of this media, even when their brand isn't the one in the spotlight. Today, we'll follow PeakMetrics' analytic framework, detect, decipher, defend, to quantify the reputational impacts of this documentary. PeakMetrics' narrative intelligence technology is constantly processing news and social media chatter to detect new, specific narratives, without the need for a customer to build a highly tailored query. In our automated monitoring of fast fashion narratives, PeakMetrics was alerted to the Brandy Hellville documentary and its damaging impacts across the broader fast fashion industry. PeakMetrics then deciphered two specific damaging narratives in the online reaction to the documentary. First, that Brandy Melville is labeled as fatphobic, racist, and misogynist. And second, that the fast fashion industry is criticized for its environmental impacts. While the documentary largely focused these two narratives on Brandy Melville, other brands were also thrown into the discussion across news and social media. In the online discourse around the documentary, Abercrombie and Fitch was frequently mentioned alongside the fatphobic narrative, while Shein, H&M, and Zara were cited as further examples of the narrative on the environmental costs of fast fashion. The fatphobic, racist, misogynist narrative dominated online discussions at 43%, while the environmental costs narrative comprised 28% of the overall mentions. PeakMetrics also found a notable divergence between news coverage and social media posts on the documentary, as seen on this slide. On the right, you can see fast fashion's environmental impacts were singled out much more frequently in social posts about the documentary. At the same time, on the left, news coverage was more likely to single out the racist, misogynist, fatphobic narrative, or mention both narratives side by side. To defend against the documentary's negative effects, fast fashion brands can emphasize inclusive sizing, body-positive messaging, and feature diverse models, as this strategy contrasts with Brandy Melville's one-size-fits-all image presented in the documentary. Amplifying this message may help downplay the narrative of the environmental impacts of fast fashion consumption in the online discourse. That's all for today, folks. Request a demo of PeakMetrics to learn how you can proactively address reputational risks.